Wait for it. Bam! There it is, 1,000 miles on my Intense Tazer Pro e-bike. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a while. I've been thinking about it. I've been putting more miles on the bike, and we're gonna dive deep into a lot of the features that I really love. A couple little items I think could be possibly better, but overall, I wanna give a good, fair, and honest opinion of the Intense Tazer. So, let's do it. And stick around for insane bike setup techniques coming your way. You don't wanna miss. Here it is, the 2021 Intense Tazer Pro e-bike. This is my actual bike right here. Cleaned it up really nice. I think it's looking pretty good. So, what stands out immediately to me is the 29-inch wheel up front with the 27.5 in the back. The front tire is a 2.6 with a 30 millimeter wide rim. The rear is a 2.8 with a 35 millimeter rim. Tons of traction, great for cornering, great for high speed stability. I like this setup a lot. Spent a lot of years racing and riding dirt bikes, so adapting this type of mullet setup on a mountain bike, I really like. It makes a lot of sense to me. Along with the wider rim, it just provides a really stable platform for the tire. Moving on to the brakes, the Tazer Pro is equipped with Shimano XT. You have massive 203 millimeter brake rotors front and rear. You gotta have good brakes on an e-bike. Bigger the better. You're gonna need it with the extra weight of the bike. I love these brakes. The feel is awesome and the stopping power is really good. I'm on the original brake pads as well. Pretty sure I'm due for some new rear pads, but overall, really pleased. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the front end and the Fox 38 float factory fork. All right, probably my favorite part of the whole bike is the front end. I've been really impressed with the Fox 38. You have 160 millimeters of travel up front. No matter what you throw at this fork, it handles it very well. I think the larger diameter fork leg is what mountain bikes have been lacking, especially an e-bike with the extra weight of it. I've been super impressed no matter if you're hitting rock gardens or drops or large double jumps or just a feel through a high-speed corner. Very confidence inspiring. I think Fox did an awesome job. Also on my bike, I run the front end a little stiffer. I'd rather sacrifice that small bump feel to have it perform better on a high-speed downhill or off of a face of a jump. Guess that's kind of going back to my old Supercross days. The rear shock. It's a Fox Float DPX2 with 155 millimeters of travel. Now, if you watched any other Tazer reviews, probably the biggest complaint about the bike is the rear shock. Here's my take on it. Having a rear shock with barely 6 inches of travel, I'm not expecting it to work great everywhere. You're asking for a lot to have that little shock work great on the small bumps and the big hits. I think it does a really good job of doing both right now, and I expect the rear shock to blow through and land hard when I overjump something or when I do a large drop to a hard landing. The average rider isn't going to have an issue with this at all. And I think the expert or pro guy that really pushes the bike, he may want a little more stiffness to the rear shock. But overall, I think the bike's geometry and low center of gravity and balance makes up for any shortcomings with the rear shock. Okay, here it is, the all-new Shimano EP8 motor. I have zero complaints about this motor. It has a really smooth delivery. They managed to make it lighter, even more quiet. It offers 85 Newton meters of power. Here I am on the Taser on some skinnies. Having that nice, smooth power delivery is crucial in maintaining your balance. For these type of trails, it's all about being precise. And if your motor is a little jerky, it can throw you off the trail. Or put it in trail mode or boost and haul butt uphill. Man, it makes a boring uphill climb a lot of fun. And at this point in my life, I want to just have fun. I ride a lot of my rides just in eco mode, and in that mode it just offers a little assistance on the climbs, but is very similar to a regular bike. But as soon as you go to trail or boost, your smile gets bigger and the whole bike just comes alive, and it's pretty awesome. The Taser also has a 504 watt battery. It's a compact size that fits really low in the down tube. You remove the cover and it has a nice little chart printed on the inside if you have any error codes. Depending on how you ride the bike and what mode, you can easily get a ride up to 20 to 25 miles out of it. And a whole day at the bike park is no problem. Just about wrapping up this review here. I hope you're enjoying it, but I wanted to touch on a few more items. The Taser has a 64.9 degree head tube angle, 450 millimeter long chainstays, 12-speed drivetrain, along with DT Swiss hubs. And I love how they incorporated this rear fender. It looks really clean and works great. The only changes I have made to the bike is I had the guys over at Psychological Bike Shop shorten up the cables for a cleaner look, and I swapped out the grips to this ODI dreadlock grip. I really hope you enjoyed this review. I've taken the Taser to all the local bike parks. I've ridden it in Utah, all my local trails, to the beach. It's been everywhere. I feel like I've really put it to the test in all kinds of different conditions, and I tell people all the time, this e-bike is the most fun you can have on a mountain bike. Coming from my moto background, I love the extra weight of the e-bike. It makes me feel more confident. I feel like the bike is more stable, and I look forward to putting 1,000 more miles on this bike in the near future. Anyways, take care, guys. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned. I might have a couple bonus setup tips for you here with the Taser. Okay, here's a little trail tip for you. If you're fighting that front end a little bit, a little sketched out on the downhills, good thing to try is roll the handlebars back about a ½ millimeter. That will transfer almost 38% of your weight farther back off the seat, therefore lightening the front end, less deflection. The bike really came alive when that happened. All right, you got to own a lot of different types of pumps to ride this bike. All right, so tire pressure, super key. You don't want deflection. Deflection is all about deflection, all right? So again, tire pump, 32.5 pounds. That's it, no more, no less. All right, guys, another little tip for you. Make sure you own a shock pump. Every time I get out and ride my Taser, I set the PSI to 207. I was riding around at 205, 206. Wasn't working for me. I went to 207. It made all the difference. All right, front fork setup. You have 8 high-speed compression clickers, about 18 low-speed. My bike, the way I ride, they're cranked all the way in, but you already knew that. All right, getting ready to go out on a ride. Went over all the nuts and bolts. I don't want any deflection going on out there, you know what I mean? All right, about wrapping up my review on the 2021 Intense Tazer. I hope you enjoyed all these extra little pro tip bike setup techniques. I'm sure you're probably wondering one last question. You're probably wondering, with the 29 up front, the 27.5 in the rear, how is that going to affect the rolling resistance? Well, you know, all I can say is you can take that rolling resistance question and shove it up your
You've been